Xiao Yan, determined to restore Yao Lao's honor, took action against the Yao Clan members. Continuing from the last chapter, Xiao Yan lifted his head with a face full of surprise. He saw that the space not far away was experiencing intense ripples, and then several figures slowly appeared. The one leading them was dressed in elegant green clothes. Her delicate face, as beautiful as a blooming flower, bore a gentle smile. Her 3,000 strands of hair were casually tied with a light green ribbon, cascading down like a waterfall past her slender waist. As the breeze blew, her hair floated, making her look like an immortal descended to the mortal world. Such a breathtaking beauty could only be the long-missed Xun Er. Besides Xun Er were two companions. One of them was also a familiar face, qiong, a genius of the Gu clan whose talent and bloodline were second only to Xun Er. The other, however, was a stranger, an elder with white hair dressed in blue robes. The elder's face always wore a kind smile, giving off a benevolent aura. However, only those with keen perception could sense the sharpness hidden beneath that smile. The sudden appearance of Xun Er and her companions immediately drew the attention of many onlookers. Their gazes swept over the trio, followed by whispers. Those present were not ordinary individuals or factions. They naturally recognized the Gu clan, a seemingly low-profile but actually colossal superpower. When Xun Er and her companions arrived, the deputy hall master of Seoul Hall frowned slightly and murmured, "As expected, the Gu clan has arrived." The Seoul Hall master glanced over the trio, finally resting his gaze on the blue-robed elder. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes as he said indifferently, "The pure lotus demon flame is no ordinary heavenly flame. Even our Seoul clan covets it. It's no surprise that the Gu clan would too. I didn't expect them to send Gu Nanhai this time." The young clan leader of the Seoul clan, dressed in black, raised his eyes slightly and said, "Gu Nanhai is strong, but with the hall master's ability, stopping him won't be difficult. There is an agreement among our ancient clans that those who have reached the 5-star Do Sheng level or above cannot act recklessly. The hall master is just within this limit, and few can match him at this level. Those powerful beings, though not present, are surely watching." The Seoul Hall master smiled faintly, looking up at the void, as if someone was lurking in the empty space. The elegant girl stood before Xiao Yan. "Brother Xiao Yan, you've finally become a Do Sheng," she said, her cheeks glowing with a warm smile. Seeing her beautiful smile, Gu Qingyang and the blue-robed elder beside her couldn't help but shake their heads slightly. In the Gu clan, they had never seen Xun Er so happy. Looking at the girl in front of him, so ethereal and otherworldly, Xiao Yan felt a soft spot in his heart being struck heavily. The long-suppressed longing surged from the depths of his soul like a tidal wave. Without caring about the many eyes on them, he reached out, grasped Xun Er's soft, slender jade hand, and gently pulled her into a tight embrace. Now, he had truly grown up. Regardless of age or strength, with his current achievements, even though Xun Er possessed the rare divine bloodline of the Gu clan, Xiao Yan was fully deserving of her. Although her strength was not inferior to his, as a 2-star Do Sheng at such a young age, even a clan as ancient as the Gu clan could not underestimate him. In other words, if Xiao Yan were to propose to the Gu clan, no one would dare say he was unqualified. Embraced tightly by Xiao Yan, a gentle curve appeared on Xun Er's beautiful face. She lightly rested her cheek on his shoulder, greedily absorbing the familiar scent she had missed for so long. It had been 3 years since their last parting. Because she bore the divine bloodline of the Gu clan, she couldn't leave the clan before reaching the Do Sheng level. To preserve the bloodline safely, she had to endure the torment of longing, training with all her might to reach this level, just to gain her own freedom. Xun Er slightly turned her head to gaze at Xiao Yan's profile, her lips curving into a soft smile. In an instant, her elegant, beautiful face took on a hint of allure. She whispered softly into Xiao Yan's ear, "Brother Xiao Yan, I missed you so much. From now on, I am free. I will stay by your side always." For the sake of the Gu clan, she grew up in the Xiao family. For the Gu clan, she separated early from Xiao Yan. For the Gu clan, every meeting with Xiao Yan was brief and hurried. After each brief encounter came years of longing and waiting. But fortunately, those days were finally over. From now on, she could freely manage her own time without being strictly controlled by the Gu clan. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was taken aback, then smiled and nodded. While Xiao Yan and Xun Er were whispering softly, Gu Qingyang finally spoke up helplessly. "You two are not going to ignore everyone else, are you?" Hearing his words, Xun Er blushed slightly but quickly regained her composure. She gently broke free from Xiao Yan's embrace and turned her beautiful eyes to Yao Lao behind Xiao Yan, respectfully bowing to him. "This must be Senior Yao Chan." Yao Lao chuckled, "Hee hee, little girl. We've known each other for a long time, though we've never met face to face." Long ago, Xun Er had discovered Yao Lao hiding within Xiao Yan. At that time, not knowing his intentions towards Xiao Yan, she had even secretly warned him. But this was indeed the first time they were meeting formally. Upon hearing this, Xun Er felt somewhat apologetic. "Senior Yao Chan, please don't hold any grudges over past events." She had suspected Yao Lao of having ill intentions towards Xiao Yan and had not been very polite. However, the subsequent events showed that without Yao Lao's constant assistance, Xiao Yan's journey would have been much more arduous. Yao Lao stroked his beard and laughed heartily. "Haha, it's just a small matter. As Xiao Yan's teacher, if I can't have a bit of magnanimity towards my disciple's future wife, it would be quite unbecoming." Seeing the shy expression on Xun Er's face gave him a sense of satisfaction. He knew well what status Xun Er held within the Gu clan, and having such a high-status disciple's wife was quite an honor. Xiao Yan smiled and introduced Zi Yan, who had known Xun Er since their days at Jianan Academy. Although they had met there, they rarely saw each other after Xun Er left. Now, meeting again, there was a sense of change in the air. After all, one had been a student, and the other a playful girl. Now, both possessed peak strength on the continent. Xun Er smiled gently, pointing to the blue-robed elder behind her, and said to Xiao Yan, "Brother Xiao Yan, this is Elder Gu Nanhai from the Gu clan. He came with me to investigate the pure lotus demon flame." Xiao Yan looked at the blue-robed elder, feeling a slight sense of caution. The Gu clan is also interested in the pure lotus demon flame? This elder gave him a feeling, though not as profound as the Soul Hall Master, still stronger than Zi Yan. The ancient clans indeed had deep foundations. The blue-robed elder smiled. "It's not that we are particularly interested in the pure lotus demon flame. That thing is extremely difficult to subdue, and it's best if it doesn't fall into the hands of the Soul Clan." He didn't display any condescending attitude, speaking as if to appear, his tone calm, and without the deliberate challenges of other Gu clan elders. Xun Er smiled slightly. "The pure lotus demon flame has appeared before, but it was never subdued. The spatial seal here was set by the pure lotus demon saint, and is very mysterious. Even if the pure lotus demon flame can break it temporarily, the seal will absorb the energy of heaven and earth to repair itself, continuing to imprison the flame. The Soul Clan has always coveted the pure lotus demon flame and come prepared each time. Who knows what they plan this time?" Xiao Yan glanced at the three from the Soul Hall and said, "They don't seem to be making a move?" Xun Er's beautiful eyes glanced at the black-eyed man among the three from the Soul Hall. Her delicate eyebrows furrowed slightly, and she said softly, "They are waiting for the pure lotus demon flame to break the seal and exhaust its energy. Brother Xiao Yan, be careful of this person. His name is Hunfeng, known as a madman within the Soul Clan. His talent is astonishing, and he also has the divine bloodline of the Soul Clan. Compared to Hunyu, whom you met before, he is far stronger. According to our information, he is likely to be the next clan leader of the Soul Clan. Moreover, he excels in cross-level combat. Since he started training, he rarely fights those below his level. His attacks are ruthless and merciless, even in clan sparring, resulting in injuries or worse. Over time, no one of his generation dares to fight him, and even some elders of the Soul Clan are wary of him. If you face him, be extra cautious." Xiao Yan's eyebrows twitched slightly as he glanced at Hunfeng, then nodded slowly. The title of the next Soul Clan leader was indeed intimidating. He wondered how much of a chance he had if they fought. Xun Er smiled gently, "But now, Brother Xiao Yan, you are a 2-star Dosheng. Your combat power far exceeds this level, comparable to Hunfeng. If you fight, it's hard to say who will win." Xiao Yan smiled, not underestimating his opponent in the slightest. The Soul Clan members were not to be taken lightly, and for Hun Feng to stand out among them and be called the next clan leader spoke volumes about his terrifying nature. Xiao Yan knew that this person would be a formidable enemy. Xiao Yan withdrew his thoughts and suddenly asked, "Why have you ancient clans only sent so few people?" He noticed that whether it was the Soul Clan, the Gu Clan, or the Yin Clan, they had only sent 2 or 3 people. Gu Qingyang glanced at the elite members of the Sky Mansion Alliance behind Xiao Yan, noting their considerable numbers and impressive momentum. He shook his head helplessly and said, "Subduing the pure lotus demon flame isn't about numbers. When you enter that space, it's best not to bring too many people. Otherwise, the losses will be unbearable." Hearing this, Xiao Yan and Yao Lao were stunned. Gu Nanhai, dressed in blue robes, smiled and said, "That space, refined by the pure lotus demon flame over thousands of years, is a treacherous place. Even a half-dosheng would struggle to survive in there." Xiao Yan secretly marveled. "Thank you for the warning." They indeed lacked the experience of these ancient clans. If it weren't for Xun Er and the others' reminder, their group would have suffered heavy casualties. Xun Er explained softly, "Our ancient clans have a rule that those above the 5-star dosheng level cannot act arbitrarily. So, the people sent out don't exceed that limit." Xiao Yan finally understood. No wonder. He had been puzzled why, after he destroyed an important branch of the Soul Hall, the Soul Clan hadn't sent strong people to deal with him. Now he knew the reason. The only person in the Soul Hall who could make Xiao Yan wary was the Hall Master himself. But he was preoccupied with subduing the pure lotus demon flame, leaving no time to deal with Xiao Yan. Thus, even though the Soul Hall suffered a significant loss, they had to endure it silently. The pure lotus demon flame is immensely powerful. Whoever subdues it will gain a tremendous advantage. But relying solely on those below the 5-star dosheng level makes it difficult to subdue. No wonder it has remained unconquered for thousands of years. Xiao Yan's eyes flickered. This restriction didn't benefit the ancient clans much, but they seemed content to act as spoilers. The pure lotus demon flame was too powerful, and even if they couldn't obtain it themselves, they wouldn't let others have it. As these thoughts crossed Xiao Yan's mind, Gu Nanhai suddenly turned his gaze to the silent trio of the Yin Clan and said with a smile, "Hee, Elder Huayao, I didn't expect the Yin Clan to send you this time." Upon hearing this, the purple-robed elder's eyebrows twitched slightly before he replied indifferently, "The clan leader instructed that it's best to keep the pure lotus demon flame in an unowned state, as that benefits everyone." Although Elder Huayao's tone was calm, Xiao Yan detected a hint of hostility. Hearing this, Gu Nanhai shook his head with a bitter smile and said, "Elder Huayao, do you also believe that the disappearance of the Ling clan was the work of our Gu clan?" Elder Huayao remained silent. Huaxian and the red-clothed woman beside him exchanged a glance but did not comment on the matter. This matter cannot be verified, but the Gu clan and Soul clan are the prime suspects. It's necessary to stay vigilant. The Yin clan does not want to end up like the Ling clan. Huayao was silent for a moment before finally speaking slowly. After finishing his words, he waved his hand and turned to leave. Seeing this, Huaxian could only spread his hands helplessly at Xiao Yan and follow suit. Watching Huayao leave, Gu Nanhai sighed deeply, his brows tightly furrowed. Seeing this, Xiao Yan pondered. It seems the disappearance of the Ling clan has caused a significant rift among the ancient clans. If one of the two, the Gu clan or the Soul clan, were the culprits, Xiao Yan was certain it was the latter. However, the Ling clan's disappearance was so silent that no one noticed any signs, not even the many peak experts of the Gu clan. This made them suspects, as only the Gu clan and Soul clan could possibly wipe out the entire Ling clan so quietly. This is most likely the work of the Soul clan. Their aim is to make the ancient clans wary of each other, preventing any alliances, Xun Er said softly, glancing at the Soul Hall Master's direction. Gu Nanhai shook his head, somewhat helpless. "Without evidence, no one will believe us." He waved his hand dismissively, not wanting to dwell on the topic. Looking around, he said, "With the appearance of the pure lotus demon flame, the Lei clan, Yao Clan, and Xun Er clan will undoubtedly arrive soon." The Yao Clan? Hearing this, Xiao Yan's eyes shifted towards Yao Lao, noticing a complex expression flash in his eyes. Now, we can only wait for the best moment to enter the space and attempt to subdue the pure lotus demon flame. Gu Nan high-sighed, placing his hands behind his back and looking up, his gaze fixed on the distorted sky in the distance. Terrifying heat waves continuously spread from the fractured space, and the frequency of the milky white light became more frequent. Gradually, the desert below began to turn sticky, with the sand particles slowly melting. As the desert gradually transformed into magma, the sound of rushing wind became more frequent, attracting more strong individuals to the area. Within a short half-hour, the sky was densely packed with figures. Most stayed far from the fractured space, while only the true experts, like Xiao Yan and his group, dared to approach within 1,000 feet of the broken space. During this wait, the Lei clan and Shi clan from the 8 ancient clans also arrived. Upon seeing Xun Er and the Soul Hall Master, they hesitated before retreating a bit, clearly more wary and cautious due to the Ling clan's disappearance. Seeing their reaction, Xun Er and her companions could only shake their heads slightly. They had no evidence to prove that the Soul clan was behind the Ling clan's disappearance. Hence, they were powerless against these sudden suspicions. As time passed, about half an hour after the Lei clan and Shi clan arrived, the sound of rushing wind was heard again from the horizon, accompanied by a faint scent of medicine. Upon sensing this unique presence, Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. It's the Yao Clan. He could feel Yao Lao beside him tense up. As Xiao Yan watched, the distant space rippled, and 3 figures swiftly appeared, drawing the attention of everyone present. The newcomers were unfamiliar: a man, a woman, and an old man. The man wore a luxurious robe, his face handsome yet with a hint of effeminate coldness. His lips were thin, exuding an air of icy indifference. The woman beside him had long blue hair and a delicate, frosty face, giving off the aura of an ice-cold beauty. The elder, dressed in an alchemist's robe, had his hands tucked into his sleeves, his eyes slightly narrowed, occasionally flashing with a sharp glint. That young man is Yao Tian, the most outstanding member of the Yao clan's younger generation. His soul power has reached the late heavenly realm, and he once consumed a treasured pill that almost became a 9th-grade mysterious pill. His strength is at the mid-1-star Dosheng level, making him one of the most brilliant figures in the Yao clan. It's said he has successfully refined a 9th-grade treasured pill, Xun Er whispered to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan nodded slowly. In these ancient clans, endless resources could turn even a pig into a powerhouse, let alone these geniuses with extraordinary talent. Their achievements were naturally terrifying. That woman is his sister, Yao Ling. Though her strength is only at the initial half-Dosheng level, her soul is unique. She is considered the one most likely to cultivate her soul to the imperial realm within the Yao clan. The elder is a highly respected and experienced elder of the Yao clan named. Before Xun Er could finish, Yao Lao, with a slightly raspy voice, interjected, Yao Wan Gu A, in charge of enforcing penalties in the Yao clan. He holds great power, capable of deciding the life and death of clan members with a single word. Xiao Yan was slightly taken aback, looking at Yao Lao, who was trembling as he stared at Yao Wan Gu A. Teacher, Xiao Yan called softly, grabbing Yao Lao's arm, sensing his teacher's agitation. Yao Lao exhaled slowly, shaking his head. I'm fine. Xiao Yan asked softly, Teacher, do you have a grudge with Yao Wan Gu A? Yao Lao clenched his fist slightly, and after a moment of silence, he said in a hoarse voice, Years ago, he wrongfully judged me and expelled me from the clan with a single word. Hearing this, Xiao Yan nodded silently, gently patting Yao Lao's arm. Then, a cold smile appeared on his face. Don't worry, teacher. I promise I'll take his life. Hearing Xiao Yan's words, Xun Er softly added, Brother Xiao Yan, Yao Wan Gu A is a 4-star Dosheng expert, very strong. Dealing with him won't be easy. Xiao Yan smiled faintly. I have a plan. Although handling a 4-star Dosheng at the initial level would be challenging for him now, if he successfully obtained and refined the pure lotus demon flame, killing Yao Wan Gu A would be a simple matter. Seeing Xiao Yan's calm demeanor, Xun Er refrained from saying more. She knew Xiao Yan was always composed and wouldn't make any rash decisions. In the sky, the appearance of Yao Gui and his two companions naturally drew a lot of attention. The Yao clan was a rather peculiar ancient clan, with about 70 to 80% of its members being alchemists, all of whom had considerable talent in refining pills. As a result, alchemy thrived within the Yao clan space. If not for the fact that ancient clans rarely showed themselves in the Central Plains, the reputation of the Pill Tower would likely have been significantly impacted. After all, in a real comparison, the Yao clan's heritage was more comprehensive in certain aspects. Compared to the slightly more open Pill Tower, the Yao clan's techniques were much more refined in every aspect. However, the Yao clan had strict rules, allowing only their own members to learn their alchemical arts. Any outsider who dared to learn would face certain death. This limitation hindered the Yao clan's development, but it was an unavoidable issue. Ancient clans always harbored some arrogance towards ordinary people. In midair, Yao Gui's gaze swept slowly around the surroundings before settling on the three leaders of the Soul Hall nearby. His eyebrows furrowed slightly. Among the 8 ancient clans, the Soul Clan was the most mysterious and sinister. The other clans were quite wary of them because, in truth, the Soul Clan had the longest and most profound heritage. Shifting his gaze from the three leaders of the Soul Hall, Yao Gui's eyes suddenly landed on Xun Er and her group. The Gu clan is here as well? His eyes narrowed, and his gaze locked onto Yao Lao, who was staring at him intently. When their eyes met, Yao Gui was momentarily taken aback but then smiled faintly. Yao Chun, I didn't expect a discarded person like you to reach the Dosheng level. Truly surprising. Yao Lao's eyes darkened as he responded, thanks to you. I still have a bit of life left. Yao Gui, however, remained calm and smiled. A 1-star Dosheng is impressive, but not significant in front of me. Is he the discarded Yao Chen? I recall the clan once gave him a chance to return, but he stubbornly refused? The handsome man beside Yao Gui raised an eyebrow, glancing at Yao Lao. His thin lips curled into a sarcastic smile. When he had heard about Yao Lao's refusal to return to the clan, he had mocked him for not knowing his place. Now, meeting him in person, he couldn't help but sneer. Ha! Wandering around outside, gaining some fame, and now he thinks he's something special, Yao Gui said with a slight smile, his tone infuriatingly calm. The sudden tension between them was noticed by the surrounding experts. Many turned their attention to the scene, but no one spoke up. As the Yao clan was also an ancient clan, ordinary experts wouldn't dare to provoke them. Therefore, most just watched with a sense of amusement, especially since it wasn't yet the best time to enter the space, making it an entertaining distraction. Hearing the words exchanged between the two with their faint laughter, Yao Lao's body began to tremble slightly. Normally calm, being expelled from the Yao clan was always the deepest thorn in his heart. Every time this thorn was touched, his years of cultivation would crumble, especially when the one doing the touching was the very person responsible for his expulsion. Yao Tian said, after so many years of cultivation, his soul realm still hasn't reached the late heavenly realm. Such talent is quite mediocre. Since he abandoned the opportunity to return, the clan should no longer concern itself with him in the future. Seeing Yao Lao's livid face, Yao Tian shrugged, feeling it wasn't worth it to continue. He added another comment before falling silent. Yao Gui smiled and then slightly nodded. Xiao Yan gently patted Yao Lao's shoulder, then turned his head towards Yao Tian, a smile appearing on his face as he softly said, after so many years of cultivation, your soul realm still remains in the late heavenly realm. For the so-called top of the Yao clan's younger generation, that's quite unimpressive. Hearing the sudden interruption, both Yao Tian and Yao Gui were taken aback. They turned their gazes towards Xiao Yan. Yao Tian stared at Xiao Yan, a cold smile forming on his face. Who are you to criticize me? Xiao Yan smiled slightly and cupped his hands. Xiao Yan, disciple of Yao Chan. Upon hearing this, the smile on Yao Tian's face deepened. Oh? So you're the champion of the pill competition from the Pill Tower, Xiao Yan? He glanced Xiao Yan up and down before saying indifferently, the so-called pill competition is just a bunch of mediocre people competing. In our Yao clan, such a competition is insignificant. Even Yao Chen wouldn't dare speak to me like this. You should be grateful that Yao Chun is no longer part of our clan. But since you've spoken out of turn, you must pay the price for your words." As the last words left Yao Tian's mouth, his handsome face turned icy. He stomped forward, and an immense, terrifying soul force surged out like a colossal wave, crashing towards Xiao Yan with overwhelming momentum. Yao Tian declared, "Today, I'll teach Yao Qin's disciple on his behalf." As the massive soul wave, accompanied by thunderous roars, swept towards him, Xiao Yan slowly shook his head, the smile on his face fading. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, he raised his hand and lightly grasped the air. With this grasp, there was no sign of dou qi fluctuation. Yet, under Xiao Yan's grip, the seemingly boundless soul wave instantly collapsed amid stunned gazes. Crushing the formidable soul wave with ease, Xiao Yan's face revealed a chilling smile. "A mere one-star dou sheng with a late heavenly realm soul dares to teach on behalf of my master? Truly foolish." He then stepped forward, clenched his fist, and punched towards the shocked Yao Tian from afar. Xiao Yan threw a punch, and in the sky above, a colossal soul imprint, hundreds of feet wide, suddenly took shape. This imprint was covered in a peculiar crystalline layer, making it look almost tangible. At the moment Xiao Yan unleashed this punch, an immensely powerful soul pressure radiated from him, sweeping across the heavens like a tidal wave. Feeling this overwhelming soul pressure, exclamations of shock echoed through the sky. Perfect heavenly realm. Many gazes were fixed in astonishment on the slender figure in the sky, clearly unable to believe that someone so young could reach the perfect heavenly realm. Yao Tian, Yao Wangui, and Yao Ling's faces all changed drastically at this moment. How is this possible? Not even Yao Wangui had reached the perfect heavenly realm, yet Xiao Yan, at his young age, had already attained such a level? The speed of the soul imprint was incredible. As soon as it formed, it appeared mere feet away from Yao Tian, and the terrifying soul pressure bore down on his head. If this punch connected, Yao Tian's soul would undoubtedly suffer significant damage. Seeing that Yao Tian had no way to evade Xiao Yan's attack, Yao Wangui's expression darkened. "Youngster, how dare you?" He grabbed Yao Tian and threw him backward. Simultaneously, his dou qi surged out, and he punched forward to meet the soul imprint head-on. With a resounding collision, Yao Wangui stepped back slightly, but he managed to take the full brunt of the soul imprint. His 4-star dou sheng strength was indeed formidable. Behind him, Yao Tian's face turned a mix of green and white. He had never expected to be unable to withstand even a single move from Xiao Yan, especially in front of so many onlookers. Those peculiar gazes felt like knives cutting into him. His eyes turned red with rage, and he roared, "Elder Wangui, kill this brat." However, just as Yao Tian's angry shout echoed, the space before him rippled, and an invisible soul force rapidly condensed. In the blink of an eye, a figure appeared ghost-like in front of him. It was another Xiao Yan. Seeing this eerie soul clone, Yao Tian's pupils shrank. Soul clone? Reflexively, his dou qi surged out from his body. At this moment, not even Yao Wangui could come to his aid. But just as his dou qi erupted, the soul clone raised its hand with a cold smile and delivered a slap. A loud smack resounded among the strange gazes of the onlookers. Xiao Yan said, "A worthless being dares to shout in front of my teacher. Let this slap be a small lesson." In the sky, Yao Tian's body stiffened, his eyes filled with disbelief. On his face, a bright red handprint stood out starkly, with blood slowly seeping from the corner of his mouth. The entire sky fell silent. Shocked gazes turned towards Xiao Yan, who wore a slight smile. Fear began to creep into their hearts. For ancient clans, reputation was paramount. Xiao Yan had humiliated Yao Tian in front of everyone, which was worse than killing him. You dare to hit me." After a moment of silence, Yao Tian finally snapped out of his shock. His eyes turned blood red as he stared madly at the soul clone before him. An earthy brown flame surged from his body, forming a gigantic tortoise. However, this tortoise was covered in sharp fiery spikes, and its massive mouth was filled with razor-sharp teeth. Looking at the enormous flaming tortoise forming above Yao Tian's head, Xiao Yan's soul clone showed a trace of surprise. Tortoise Spirit Earth Flame, ranked 13th on the Heavenly Flames list. I didn't expect such a flame to be in your possession. It seems the Yao clan indeed has heavenly flames. As the fire spirit took shape, Yao Tian's face turned even more ferocious. With a roar, he shouted, "Die!" The giant fire spirit stomped forward, its massive tail covered in sharp fiery spikes swinging mercilessly towards Xiao Yan's head, accompanied by the sound of rushing wind. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's soul clone sneered, "A petty trick." With a flicker, a nearly 1,000-foot-long fire dragon materialized in the sky. With a casual swing of its tail, it struck the fire spirit. The flames on the fire spirit's body immediately dimmed, emitting a shrill screech before it was blasted back into Yao Tian's body. With the fire spirit defeated, Yao Tian's face turned pale, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The tortoise spirit earth flame was only ranked 13th, while Xiao Yan's flame, after fusing 5 different heavenly flames, was strong enough to contend with those ranked in the top 6. Coupled with Xiao Yan's far superior soul power, defeating Yao Tian was effortless. "You bastard!" The exchange between Xiao Yan and Yao Tian happened in a flash. Yao Wan, regaining his senses, saw Yao Tian severely injured. His face darkened, and he roared in anger. With a swift movement, he appeared in front of the soul clone and grabbed fiercely, causing the space in front of him to collapse. Facing Yao Wangui's attack, Xiao Yan did not clash head-on. Instead, his body exploded, dispersing into streams of soul power that quickly re-entered Xiao Yan's original body. As Yao Wangui's attack missed, he abruptly looked up, his gaze fixed on Xiao Yan in the distance, his heart filled with murderous intent. "Xiao Yan, you court death." With a swift movement, he appeared before Xiao Yan and threw a punch. Seeing Yao Wangui attacking again, Ziyan's expression darkened beside Xiao Yan. "Humph, old ghost. Do you really think you're the greatest here?" she snapped. Ziyan stepped forward, standing in front of Xiao Yan. Clenching her jade-like hand, she threw a punch. A radiant golden dragon roared out from her palm, colliding heavily with Yao Wangui. The clash between 2 4-star doshongs was naturally terrifying. The space where their fists met collapsed, and within a 100-foot radius, everything turned pitch black. As the shockwave spread, Yao Wangui's body was sent flying back, stumbling dozens of steps in the sky before he could stabilize himself. His gaze fixed on Ziyan. His face darkened. "Primordial ancient dragon?" Ziyan took 2 or 3 steps back, but quickly steadied herself. In terms of sheer physical confrontation, she feared no one at the same level. The body of the primordial ancient dragon was incredibly strong, and Ziyan possessed the even more formidable dragon phoenix constitution. Although her level was the same as Yao Wangui's, she could handle him with relative ease. Casually dusting off her hands, Ziyan sneered, "An overreaching old fool." Hearing this, Yao Wangui's face turned livid with anger. Just as he was about to shout in fury, Yao Ling, who had remained silent until now, pulled him back and shook his head slightly. "Elder Wangui, it's just a dispute among the younger generation. It's beneath your status to interfere." Xun Er smiled and suddenly spoke up. "I suggest everyone take a step back. Your purpose here isn't to fight, so why waste your energy?" "What? Does the Gu clan intend to support this guy too?" Yao Wangui's face twitched upon hearing Xun Er's defense of Xiao Yan, and he spoke coldly. "Yao Wangui, my lady is just stating the facts. There's no need for you to be unreasonable," said the blue-robed elder behind Xun Er, his eyebrows furrowing slightly. Seeing the speaker, Yao Wangui could only huff angrily and wave his sleeve. Humph! He knew Gu Nanhai well, whose strength was no less than his own. If they truly sided with Xiao Yan, and along with Ziyan, he and his companions would undoubtedly suffer a severe loss. Reluctantly, he directed his cold gaze toward Xiao Yan and Yao Lao, sneering, "Don't get too full of yourselves. The Yao clan might act low-key, but trying to trample over us without any real skills won't end well for you." Xiao Yan simply smiled, not bothering to respond. Yao Lao's gaze fixed on Yao Wangui as he slowly said, "Yao Wangui, Having people like you in charge is the misfortune of the Yao clan. In the future, I will visit the Yao clan. While I have no attachment to the clan, I must engrave my parents' names on the ancestral stele." Hearing this, Yao Wan sneered. "The ancestral stele doesn't record worthless people. Not only your useless parents, but even you are unworthy. Better give up on that dream." Xiao Yan's face darkened. "Old bastard, do you really think I can't deal with you today?" His voice was filled with chilling killing intent. He regarded Yao Lao as a father, and nothing infuriated him more than hearing Yao Lao insulted. Today, Yao Wangui's foul mouth had gone too far. Sensing Xiao Yan's murderous intent, Zi Yan's eyes also flashed with a fierce light, glaring at Yao Wangui. If he said anything more, she was ready to strike. Hearing Xiao Yan's insult, Yao Wangui's face turned ashen. Just as he was about to retaliate, he met Zi Yan's fierce gaze and was forced to swallow his words. The situation had unknowingly turned against them. While he could hold off Zi Yan, given Xiao Yan's previously displayed terrifying strength, he could likely kill Yao Tian and Yao Ling without much difficulty. These two were pillars of the Yao clan. If anything happened to them, he would face severe consequences back at the clan. With these concerns in mind, Yao Wangui had to forcibly suppress his anger. He cast a sinister look at Xiao Yan and Yao Lao, then waved his sleeve and retreated with Yao Tian and Yao Ling. Seeing Yao Wangui's final decision to retreat in disgrace, the surrounding crowd let out a sigh of relief. They looked at Xiao Yan and his group with surprise, clearly not expecting even an ancient clan like the Yao clan to be bested by them. As Yao Wangui and his companions retreated, Yao Lao's body gradually relaxed, his complexion returning to normal. He gently patted Xiao Yan's shoulder, wanting to say something but ended up sighing in relief. In the past, he had protected Xiao Yan under his wings, ensuring no harm came to him. Now, the roles had quietly reversed. This realization filled him with mixed emotions. Looking at the sighing Yao Lao, Xiao Yan softly said, knowing he couldn't let Yao Lao go to the Yao clan alone, "Teacher, after we subdue the pure lotus demon flame, I will accompany you to the Yao clan." Yao Lao hesitated for a moment, then smiled warmly and nodded, "Mem." With Yao Wangui and his companions' retreat, the commotion subsided. The display of strength by Xiao Yan and his group drew the attention of many powerful individuals and factions, especially Zi Yan, whose presence as a member of the primordial ancient dragon clan rivaled the might of the Gu clan and the Soul clan. As the commotion settled, everyone's focus returned to the distant, fractured space. The milky white radiance there now poured down like a continuous stream of liquid. The desert below had turned into a sea of milky white magma, with occasional bubbles releasing intense heat waves. The waiting continued for about another 3 hours. The fractured space expanded from a few meters to several dozen meters. Strange sounds began to emanate from within, accompanied by rumbling noises. When the expanding fractured space reached nearly 100 meters, it finally stopped. Faintly, a milky white ring of light formed in the broken space. As soon as this ring of light appeared, all the strong individuals present opened their eyes wide. They could feel the temperature in the area increase by nearly 100-fold in an instant. Xun Er also opened her eyes at this moment, looking towards Xiao Yan. She softly said, "It's time to move." Her words seemed to possess a magical quality. As soon as they were spoken, the surrounding space was filled with the sound of rushing wind. Powerful figures from the distance shot forward like lightning, diving straight into the milky white ring amidst a chorus of whistling sounds. Seeing this, Xiao Yan also stood up abruptly, his dark eyes burning with intense excitement. The day to acquire the pure lotus demon flame had finally arrived.